Update 8:30, Chuck Custer 810, WGY Morning News.
Academy Award-winning director of the Titanic, James Cameron, has set off a firestorm with a claim that he has discovered the tomb that holds the bones of Jesus Christ and his family that were hidden for centuries in Jerusalem. This morning, we have asked Lloyd Stewart Carpenter, who's a journalist and a biblical scholar, to join us and talk about that. Good morning, Lloyd.
Good morning, Don.
First of all, what can you tell us about the site, the actual site that Cameron is talking about, the Jerusalem?
The actual site that Cameron is talking about has been around for, well, almost 30 years. And archaeologists have known about it, that have been in the area, and have mostly been unimpressed. The very fact that Mr. Cameron is coming out and saying that this, and he has actually said that the chances of it not being the tomb of Jesus Christ are about 1,000,000 to 1.
But on the other, Lloyd, let me interrupt you for just a second here, if I may. Aren't archaeologists and biblical scholars in agreement of just the opposite, that it's unlikely that this is the actual tomb?
Exactly. Amos Kloner, the first archaeologist to examine the site, said that the idea fails to hold up by archaeological standards. He just thinks that possibly Mr. Cameron is just trying to make a profit. You know, I am also a former movie theater circuit owner, and I've always had great respect for Mr. Cameron and his ability to make films, but I think he's stepping into an area that is not his forte. You know, he has said to the press, he said, I am not a journalist, I am not an archaeologist, I'm a documentarian. But a documentarian has a duty to get his facts right.
What's the actual site like? What does it look like?
The actual site has 10 tombs, if you will, and what's interesting to note about them, as 6 of them has the name Jesus on them. So it's not just like they went and found this tomb and there's Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the name Judah and the name Joseph. There's 4 names to be found there, but actually there are 10 different sarcophagus, and 6 of them have the name Jesus. Jesus is one of the most common names coming out of the Middle East. Years ago when I used to preach sermons, one of my favorite sermons to give was on the 3 Jesuses in the Bible. There are 3 of them. A lot of people don't know that there was Jesus Christ, there was Jesus Barabbas. He was the murderer who they let free when Jesus went to the cross. His name was also Jesus. Who do you want to kill today, Jesus or Jesus? And then the 3rd Jesus was a prophet or a pastor out there using the name Jesus, and the disciples went to Jesus Christ and said, hey, this guy's using our name. Shouldn't we do something about it? And Jesus Christ said, no, if he's for us, he can't be against us, so let him do what he's doing. So there's 3 of them in the Bible. There's 6 of them over there where Mr. Cameron is saying that the real Jesus is. So I don't know how he has his 1,000,000 to 1 that Jesus. And one thing, too, I think is very interesting to note.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sarcophagus, that casket, stone tomb is empty.
That, you know what, I was about to ask you that, because I mean it seems that, you know, his claim goes right to the very core of the Christian faith that, you know, that I'm a member of, and I don't make any, you know, I don't hide any. I'm not going to keep it secret, but that core, of course, is bodily resurrection, as everyone knows. And, I mean, here we are, we're talking about the tomb that was uncovered, and right, you just got to the point of it, it's empty. There's nothing there. This is what I can't understand. What does he cite? I mean, it's been there for what you said, 27, 30, almost 30 years now. What does he cite as the discovery that's fueled these new claims? Does he? I mean, does he point to anything and say, well, we found this out or we found that out?
When he did his press conference, he was sorely absent of archaeologists of note. He evidently has gotten a few archaeologists who are willing to say certain phrases around him, but even people that are quoted and filmed on the documentary itself, when questioned later, said that they don't really think there's very much to this.
Well, I have to, Lloyd, I thank you very much for your visit this morning. And I have to say, every year, you know, just about this time, every single year during the season of Lent, during the season of East, last year it was the Judas letters. Before that, it was the Da Vinci Code. And
hey, Don, one of the people that he's supposedly buried with has also got the name of Judas.
Exactly. It goes right to the very core of the Christian faith.
We're looking at something here that's very important, and can't be overlooked. And if people want to see this on my own website, just go over to 777 News. But 777news.com is the website, and you just click on it in the middle of the page, if you will.
Very interesting. Lloyd, unfortunately, we're out of time. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you're on the West Coast. I appreciate your getting up this early to be this.
It's a pleasure.
Lloyd Stewart Carpenter on WGY Morning News.